Peace, love, and energy to everyone out there. Happy El Segment in the building. First off, want to welcome all the elemental properties. I want to welcome all the ancestral energies as well as the celestial energies that are a part of righteousness as well as uplifting the collective as a whole. Um, I just want to come through and just speak on what I can do when it comes to a holistic format of being and how I can help you illustrate your imagination when it comes to the idealistic understanding of your power when it comes to the existence and the overall meditative of the mind. So, if you like to build with me, if you want to know more, or if you are in a mind frame of wanting to understand a higher perspective of being, please contact me at Universal Soul, SOUL, thanking, CHANKINJ, on gmail.com. So, with that being said, I've come to actually speak on the, I guess it's enmities or the benefits I can be to you. I am in the mindset of teaching people holistic algorithms of being and understanding the frequency of the mind itself, as well as the energy that we all house as a collective, and how we can build on one another's structure of being to basically complete our assignment that we were given when we arrived on this earth. So I want to go into detail basically on the structure of being. And in the midst of speaking of that, I'm going to give you the collective thoughts that I have gathered with my research, as well as my opportunities of understanding a higher perspective of being, and to give you these tools and mechanisms that you can use on a daily basis to actually inform yourself of a better understanding of who you are collectively in the universe. So, with that being said, I am happy. It's a story behind the word happy. I'm going to make an individual video on that. But it has a lot to do with the assignment already privileged to me when I arrived in this spaceship, in a sense, this body vessel, the biological field, aka nothing but the physical form. So we actually signed up for these interactions, these experiences in life, to where now we have to get a better or higher understanding of the meaning and the principalities of why we actually joined up, for this basically course in the universal aspect of being, this university. So, me personally have learned thus far on this journey that I am an energy healer. Energy being a collective as an all. Energy cannot die. Energy cannot be destroyed. Energy only can be transmuted into a higher energy or frequency of being. So that is the ultimate goal when it comes to this earthly body being in the experiences that it is right now, in the inhabitants of the space it occupied. You have to get in tune with a more stability of knowing what you signed up for, as well as the creativity that you are basically gifted by the universe, by the creator, by the divine, God, whomever you assume to put in your reality is fine with me. There's no judgment. I understand that certain modules of life are not in the space of understanding the collective overall reasoning of being. And then I also understand that the indoctrination of the formality when it comes to a people as a whole all has been taught the same significance of space of being, and you only can basically like comprehend with that. So, for example, Christianity, Islam, if you were born Muslimic in a sense, those are indoctrinations to explain that example of what I was just trying to say. So I'm here to speak on strictly holistic living, holistic giving, understanding the being of presence, understanding the being of immortality, understanding that this dynamic aspect of life that we have been given has everything to do with life itself, and how we are basically separated from the understanding of a holistic view of a universal aspect, all because we have been basically intervened by higher entities, higher energies that wanted us to stay stagnated in our process of thoughts and wanting to know exactly who the individual is. Like, I want to know who I am. I want to know my reincarnations. I want to know my purpose. So basically, the instruction of being is that we basically signed up for experience that a lot of us in the soulful aspect was not ready for. So that means that this physical being, right, wanted to experience a physical experience. It wanted to be in a manifestation of the solidarity of matter. It wanted to be what's the word? Relative. Okay? So when you look outside of yourself as that higher soul being, right? You are an immortal being, even though it's not privileged to everybody. You have to seek this knowledge to want to possess your immortality when it comes to your soul being and your soul purpose and your soul presence. So everybody that's gifted with melanin is not going to save you. Even though we are the Homo sapiens sapiens, even though we are the blueprint that actually gifted all other cultures to a significance of a higher knowing, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you want to go on your individual journey. You want to go on your individual immortality, being the alchemist, understanding that the things that has been taught to you when it comes to a lead-based thinking mentality, lead, L-E-A-D. You are a lead. Don't think that anything and everything in life has no meaning or an outside perimeter meaning to it. So that number 2 pencil, which is lead, has a lot to do with your duality with the aspect of self. It has a lot to do with the duality of your higher being and your lower being, which is nothing to do with the lower. The lower is the representation of the physical self, and the higher representation of your body has a lot to do with the spiritual, soulful, or even in a biblical sense, the God sense, the Christ, the Jesus, and I don't throw words around because I understand that a lot of people are not in tune with the etymology of the people they believe in. So I would never disregard how people believe and what they believe in. Although all I can tell you on that level is, please do your individual work, the individual understanding, the individual techniques of going behind the scenes of the story that was presented to you as an early age by your not even ancestors, or by the company of being when it comes to your family circuit. When it comes, I'm very distinctive of how I use my words. I do not bullshit. I know how energy works. It's a difference between contemplating and knowing. Understand it. Knowing and contemplating on what you know, it's a huge difference. When you know some shit, ain't shit nobody can tell you. So when I say that, I'm saying because of the evidence of a scientific aspect, of the evidence of a biblical aspect, of the evidence of all these basically historical prophecies that has been indoctrinated already to us. We already assume the outcome because of what we read that had no understanding. We just took the wavelength of the ancestors, not ancestors, Lord, the wavelength of our grandparents, the wavelength of our great-grandparents, and our aunties and our uncles, and we ran with it. All because, God damn it, they gotta know. They gotta know. So truly, do they know? So I'm also learning that I need to get my point across, and the reasoning for this video has everything to do with the significance of being, how your soul itself has a extravagant mission to complete while you are actually in a physical form. It shows you that the physical shell itself is not just of your existence. It actually shows you that the soul itself continues to live on beyond this three-dimensional realm. And if you didn't know, Earth is a three-dimensional realm. And also that Earth is not only a three-dimensional realm, everybody on Earth is actually thinking in a two-dimensional aspect. Everybody on Earth is thinking in a two-dimensional aspect. That means that they are only going by the duality of their two eyes that they see right in front of them, that everybody that has been indoctrinated before them told them this information, that why should I basically conform to new information when all the old information to me is psychologically right. And anybody in psychology can tell you that everything that you perceive has a lot to do when it comes to your upbringing. Everything. So the psychology of it is perceiving and understanding the alchemical way of thinking. Your perception actually controls your motive of being right now. And the only way it does that is because the perception, the preconception that was inhibited in your biological genes, your DNA structure, to tell you that this meaning is such. So when it comes to the evolution of the mind state itself, if the all is truly mind and the universe is mental, I really need people to dissect that alone. The all is mind and the universe is mental. So when you actually collaborate your mind, body, and spirit, your soul, you are going to ask a more deeper, profound question within your structure of being. This space that you provide has nothing to do with the logistics of the outside character of being. It has nothing to do with the social media hypocrisy that we have going on. It has nothing to do with your 9 to 5 or your pension plan or the fact that you've been on a job for so long to where all your desire is to retire. No, just like the soul itself, everyone has a distinctive blueprint when it comes to their fingerprint. So if my fingerprint is different from everybody in the universe, which is over goddamn me, too many billions to even express, that means that my ideology of self-belief and my creative endeavors and my creative juice that I have for me, nobody else house, nobody else hold. And I am at the age where I'm at, I'm 42, to where I've just learned this phenomenal reasoning of being. Although my timer might have went off, because we all have timers, to basically want to welcome this information and not be so biased and indoctrinated to where I would never believe anything that somebody else say. How about that I've been doing the literary work, I've been doing the experimentation, I've been actually scientifically breaking down the psychology of the mind itself, how I've been possessing to understand the mind, the brain itself, how I have correlated my crystal healing, my numerology, how I have actually allowed myself to go in different dimensions of thyself to find those different aspects to help me. Tai Chi, Qi Gong, breathing is life. That means that your breath is the most important component besides the DNA structure of correlation of being the Homo sapiens sapien and being the original blueprint of the image that let thy be made in thy name. Stop putting physical aspects of these entities that are truly energies and understand that everything that the biblical or the religion sector has been trying to teach you has everything to do with what's going on inside of you. Mount Zion is inside of you. The kingdom is inside of you. The kingdom is a representation of the brain and how you correlate the feminine aspect of you and the masculine aspect of you to a complete totality to where you understand both sides of you. Not the misconception of separation when even it comes to the acknowledgments of races. If we all were built under the same structure of being, everything that you see, man has had a influential counterpart in it to make you believe it's not what you think it is. In actuality, what you truly think it is what it is. So stop believing the hype. Stop goddamn me. Continue to give all your energy to dominational beings that want to continue to feed off of your existence for them to exist. So I say this with all respect. I say this with all morality. I say this with all no combativeness, no malice. I say these things in a privilege of understanding that I don't have to believe in anything before I believe in me first. And those that believe in them first, with all the ancestral DNA lineage that we do have, with all the archangels, with all the angels, the angles of light that has been given and bestowed upon you, you can actually use that to your advantage without the preacher, without the shaman, without the Buddha, without anyone of an instructional pattern to allow you to think outside of yourself. You have that mind power, that progressiveness of understanding to be a part of your own alchemical transmutation, which is nothing but turning this ideology of your mindset and your mind structure of lead, L-E-A-D, base thinking, to a godhood, which is one of the colors gold. And that's what it means to not only think outside of the box, think outside of the tetrahedron, the 8 symbiotic geometric structure that we are stuck in. So regardless of what people say, regardless of what you think, regardless of what people feel, you have a due diligence to yourself. Nobody else, not your children, not your family, not your co-workers. You have a due diligence to yourself to understand yourself in totality. On that note, happy El Sekhmet. If you are willing to step outside of the current ideology type of compartments that you are housed in, that coffin, that box, if you are willing to get out of that box of the construct of mind thinking and go into a different frame of thinking, I am your girl. St. Louis is my home. Although I know the reincarnations of self is real, there's no telling where my first original space of thought of being were housed at. And that is the construct that we need to understand. We have tried this several times. So now it's time to get it together. It's time to get it together. We can get it together. The last time this instrument of knowledge was gifted to us was during the ages where, y'all remember when, Cleo and all the psychics, and then you had all the different preachers that had all these different premonitions and prophecies, and that era was the turning of the new era into where we're going right now, which is the age of the Aquarius, which is the sign of information, which is the sign of revealing what's behind the veil of existence. So this moment of life of expectancy, you can create your own space of being. You can create your own powerful energy within yourself. You can create your own entities, because you are truly that God and goddess representation of a constellational type of being. So again, let me see where I'm at. 24 minutes. I have learned too that the mind of human beings only occur in 5 minutes, 12 minutes, and like 15 minutes. After that, you'll lose them if you don't keep them interested. So I want to continue to build on the thought process alone of individuality, of self-knowledge, of self-knowing, as well as continue to reach out to me at Happy El Sekhmet, Sekhmet. I am not Sekhmet, although I do know The numbers make up her name, as well as the acknowledgement of the energy that I have probably preserved and has not got a chance to use, as well as this probably was a prominent point in my reincarnations of being, to where she played a specific reasoning of being in my biological field. So I never worship anybody, but I do welcome the energies that is going to push me forward to continue to not just push the message, but push myself to the extent of not just no return, but the extent of immortality that we all are chasing. Happy El Sekhmet on YouTube, SEKHMET. Please go subscribe to my channel. Stop being biased. Think outside of the box. The Original Happy on IG, DA_ORIG_HAPI. And I welcome anyone who wants not just to know more, but wants to understand the dynamic process of transmutation within themselves. On that note, appreciate everybody listening. I thank the energies that have created this moment for me, and know that the 2020 vision is truly coming, and 2020 vision is what everybody needs to be on when it comes to a higher perspective of self. Peace.